Hey everybody, Steve here, and welcome to the AFR Monday Night Double Play. Alright guys, so last week on the show, I asked viewers for a suggestion for a new name for our Monday night program, and as you can see from the opening credits, there was one that really struck my fancy, so to speak, and so I've decided to go with the AFR Monday Night Double Play. Thank you to everybody who made some suggestions. There were some really great ones, and a big shout out to Frederick Crosby, who was the one who suggested the Double Play name for the show. So just like the show last week, this will still feature a game of the week and a question of the week. So let's get right to the game of the week to start things off. So on my table, I started off my 2015 Football America season. I'm running through the Boston team. And for those of you that are familiar with the Football America set, you may be thinking, wait a minute, there isn't a Boston team in that. So what I did is I actually took the Philadelphia team and I moved them to Boston. And what's interesting about this team from the 2015 set is they have a running back who has been a longtime staple in that Football America set, Rondé Lincoln. For years, he was on the Oklahoma team, and he's sort of at the end of his career, towards the tail end of it. Maybe think of it as sort of like Emmitt Smith when he went to the Arizona Cardinals. And so he isn't quite the steamroller that he used to be. But nonetheless, Boston has sort of a three-headed attack on their running game. And I actually got 2 games in for their season. So they opened their season against Orlando at home, and they did not disappoint the home crowd, and they ran away with a 41-21 victory. And this was a game where everything just went right for Boston, and everything sort of went wrong for Orlando. And so it was a good way to kick off the season. I was able to space the running out between all 3 running backs. They all had about 10 touches for the game, and that's what the game plan is going to be for this team, because they do have a fairly decent quarterback, but he's prone to interceptions, and he actually had a couple in the first half of the game before he was able to settle down. Fortunately, none of them turned the game around for Boston. So moving on to week 2, this time they traveled to Detroit, and it was a much tougher contest, and they did manage to squeak out a victory, and this was more of the same. The three-headed attack for Boston on the ground with some sparse air attack from their quarterback. But actually what the difference in this game was the Boston defense. They got to the quarterback on several occasions and got a big sack on the last drive of the game as Detroit was going down the field trying to get the go-ahead score. And they made it all the way to the Boston 38 before time ran out, and a last second heave was not a successful completion, and so Boston is off to a 2-0 start in my season, and I'm going to try to get a couple more games of that in, hopefully over the next week. Alright, so let's take a look. We'll feature one game this week, and it was sent to us by a longtime friend of the show, David, who runs his Baseball Demos YouTube channel, and he's continuing his 2015 replay of the Washington Nationals, and he's using payoff pitch baseball to do that. And he had a really fantastic pitcher's duel between the Nationals and the Mets. And unfortunately for Mets fans, they saw their starting pitcher DeGrom go 8 innings and gave way to the closer Familia in the 9th, and He could not hold the lead. And it was the Nationals catcher, Wilson Ramos, who got a walk-off 2-run double to send the fans home happy. So, David, thank you for sharing your write-up with us and your recap. For those of you guys who might have missed this last week, what David's doing, he's using payoff pitch baseball to play the games, but he's using PC replay baseball to keep the stats. So he's having the computer play out all the other teams' games, and then he's just manually entering his results that he plays out on the tabletop. So, looking forward to hearing more of that season as it goes along. So again, no theme for this week's Game of the Week. I'm just going to continue my Football America season, see if I can guide the Boston Minutemen to another victory on the football field, and hopefully I'll get another race or two in for my 2015 Scram season. As always, please feel free to share any current replays you have going on in your table, and I'll feature one of them on next week's show. All right, and now it's time for the question of the week. So this week I actually broke out my copy of Baseball Highlights 2045 on my tabletop, and it was because I've been really enjoying the app version of that game, and it made me want to get my board game out, and so I played through a game against the AI, the solitaire version. Had a lot of fun with that. And so for this week's question, I wanted to ask everybody, do you have a game that you play on your iPad or on your Android device that you enjoy, but then playing it makes you want to get out the actual board game version of the game? So maybe not necessarily a sports game. There's a lot of other board games that have been translated into apps. And for me, those are great. You know, if you don't have a lot of time to set up and play a game, it's nice to just pull out your iPad and play on there. But for me, nothing really replaces actually getting out the physical game and playing it on your table. So look forward to hearing your responses to that, and I'll showcase a couple of answers on next week's show. All right, everybody, that is all for now. Thank you for watching. My name's Steve, and until next time, get out there, have fun, play games, and I'll see you after further review.